The Nintendo Switch is now in its 6th year of service and has rapidly climbed to become one of the greatest selling consoles of all time. Following the disaster that was the Wii U, people were really skeptical when Nintendo pitched their Switch console to the world at the end of 2016. 6 years later, the Switch has sold almost 10 times the amount of the Wii U and has even surpassed the legendary Nintendo Wii. In this video, we're going to take a look at what is next for Nintendo and how they could make the Switch even better. Hey guys, Joe here from TechKnow, and today we're going to be talking about all things Nintendo Switch. Why? Because with a recent rumour suggesting that a new Switch might be launching at the end of the year, I wanted to discuss exactly what Nintendo could do to make the Switch even better. Over the 6 years of the Switch's life, we have seen two versions get released alongside the original, the Nintendo Switch Lite and the Nintendo Switch OLED. These consoles were very similar to the original but saw hardware improvements such as a smaller design or a better screen. This video is going to talk about the idea of a completely new Switch, not a basic revision like the Switch Lite or the Switch OLED, as I want to explain my ideas for some completely new features. But first, let's talk about what the Nintendo Switch actually did well. When the Switch first released in 2017, I was impressed by the initial concept. A tablet gaming device that could be played on the go or docked to a TV for a big screen experience. I won't pretend that I didn't have my concerns, but when I finally got my hands on one, I was very impressed. The Nintendo Switch has proven itself to be a worthy purchase for a good number of gaming fans, as it's not only the go-to for people that want to play games on the move, but it also has a wide variety of games that will appeal to almost any audience. Following the 3DS era, the Switch became a breath of fresh air as we started to see some incredible first-party titles work flawlessly on the big screen, but also on the go in a higher resolution. Whether you're playing the expansive world of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the colourful racing experience that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all the way to the classic that is Minecraft, the versatility of the Nintendo Switch and its games is what has made the console so excellent, even if some of the best sellers are Wii U ports. Let's also take a second to mention the Virtual Console titles that are tied to the Nintendo Switch Online subscription too, which adds a lot of gaming potential from the start. But a strong selling point of the Switch is the fact that I can easily grab the console from the dock, quickly zip it into a carrying case and chuck it in my bag. It's such a unique but appreciated feature for a home console. Nintendo really made something special when creating a device that can let you continue your gaming adventures wherever you are. On top of this, we can't forget to mention all the possible combinations of using the device. Whether you're at home in docked mode, at a cafe and using the tabletop kickstand, or just using the device in handheld mode, the ability to set the console up where you want it and play with friends or solo is just such a cool idea. I really enjoy the Nintendo Switch as it's a breath of fresh air away from PC, PlayStation and Xbox, which are often at the very centre of attention. After 6 years, the Nintendo Switch feels like it's just there, but with a strong library of games, it's not all that forgettable. If I want to sit down and relax, I would much prefer to sit in bed and play the Switch than be sat at my desk and playing on a PC. The Switch has an unexplainable simplicity to it that I will never be able to get over. That being said, there are some fundamental issues with the Nintendo Switch that I believe need to be resolved in future versions. Let's start with the elephant in the room: performance. Performance has been the Switch's Achilles heel from the start. While we have seen some impressive open world games such as Breath of the Wild running at a consistent frame rate, big games like this often take years of development and a lot of optimization, time that developers just don't have. For franchises like Pokemon, which uses its frequent game releases as the backbone of its entire business model, the 6-year-old graphics chip and processor in the device is hard to make the most of within a short time frame. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet are great examples of this. While not entirely the Switch's fault, the game has had a rough reception due to its glaring performance issues, and this is a game from the Pokemon Company of all people. Performance is also the reason why we don't see large AAA titles such as Elden Ring, Grand Theft Auto and the typical Call of Duty games on the console, because the Switch just cannot run them, even though Call of Duty is coming to the Switch eventually, but you know what I mean. Even basic applications such as the eShop and the Switch Online app struggles to run due to being loaded in as a web page. Scrolling through the eShop is often painful due to its slow, laggy nature thanks to its old hardware. On top of this, mediocre handheld build quality does drop the Switch down a few marks. A flexible and creaky handheld is the result of the Joy-Con controllers attaching to the console via rails. As we all know, anything built with moving parts is at a higher risk of mechanical failure, and the Switch certainly has a high failure rate with its Joy-Con controllers. Joy-Con drift is an issue that many Nintendo Switch users suffer with, and is the result of degradation in the joysticks causing inputs to be made automatically on the console. This can create movement when you don't want it to, or even make a game completely unplayable. And finally, as I mentioned in my last video about the Nintendo 3DS eShop closure, which you can find up there, the Nintendo Switch lacks just the Nintendo charm that has been poured into all the previous generations of Nintendo consoles. Nintendo poured so much love and care into older devices, with exciting features such as Street Pass, home menu themes, Miiverse, and eShop music available on the Nintendo 3DS. And who can forget PictoChat on the Nintendo DS, which was hours of fun in itself. The Nintendo Switch, while it does bring a lot to the table, feels like a bare bones version of what Nintendo can do. We are stuck with a basic light mode and a basic dark mode for the OS UI. We have to browse the laggy eShop in complete silence. The removal of features like the Nintendo Badge Arcade and the theme shop from the 3DS completely remove personalization from the console. Even the activity log has become more simplified, when the book format worked just so well. And returning to Street Pass, while a tricky feature to implement securely, it created so much enjoyment at taking the 3DS on the go and incorporated the beloved Miis into the console, building up a collection of fellow 3DS users that will join your plaza and assist you in your minigames. Now, all Miis are really useful for are app icons and support in very few games. As a massive Switch fan, I want to pitch my idea for the dream Nintendo Switch console. I know a lot of these features may be tricky or impossible to implement due to technical limitations. However, I do feel like if they were to incorporate these features, it would certainly bring back a lot of the charm Nintendo has been missing. To start off, I want to talk about customization. Being able to load custom themes onto the home screen, whether these are basic colours or even game exclusive, would be awesome. Like the 3DS, having a range of free and paid for themes will give players the chance to make their home screen look a lot more unique. Take a look at these basic mock-ups for Nintendo Switch themes that I made around a year ago for fun. Even these would be a nice refreshing change for the home console. Bringing the Badge Arcade back would also be a welcome addition, if Nintendo could find a way to add badges to the home screen without ruining its aesthetically pleasing appearance. Next would be a Mii channel, as this would bring back a lot of nostalgia for Nintendo Wii, Wii U and 3DS users. A new Mii channel could be combined with Street Pass, for a collective experience at creating new Miis, using them in minigames and welcoming new Miis to your collection. I know the Mii characters are slightly outdated, which is why Nintendo likely chose not to have them as the main characters in Nintendo Switch Sports, but I feel like the simplicity of the Miis is what makes them so lovable in the first place. While the base version of Nintendo Switch Online is a lot cheaper than the Xbox and PlayStation alternatives, being able to voice chat in parties, send friend messages and add friends without a friend code would be a lovely quality of life update. On top of this, achievements or a similar Nintendo alternative would be welcome, as it adds a lot of value to the games. Being able to tie online connectivity into the Mii channel may also be a fun way of adding extra content to the base operating system of the Switch. Perhaps Switch Online users can enter monthly raffles for outfits, accessories or new customization options for their Miis. Perhaps a currency could be created within the Mii Plaza that is tied to the online service. The opportunities here are endless. And finally, from a hardware side, a more powerful chip within the Switch would be a welcome addition, as it would invite developers that create more intensive games to start using the Nintendo Switch as a platform. While an exclusively home console would be awesome from Nintendo, I very much see the idea of a hybrid console being the focus of the games company for quite a while to come. All I ask is for some better graphics, better build quality and just a little bit of that Nintendo charm sprinkled in. The quality of mobile processing chips have become a lot more powerful since 2017, so I look forward to seeing what could possibly be with the new Switch. So there we have it, a look at how I would make the Nintendo Switch even better. I'm certainly not the first person to suggest voice chat, achievements or more themes to a new version of the Switch. I've read many forums and seen many videos where people discuss very similar additions that could make a new Switch so much better. It seems to be a very popular opinion at this point. While my Mii channel idea, I believe, is unique, there are an endless number of extra possibilities that Nintendo could choose to follow to bring this charm back to the Switch. It's just about whether they would do it. The point of this video was to show Nintendo what customization and creativity really means to us as gaming fans. While I certainly appreciate the Switch for what it is, I know that what we got is not the classic Nintendo we know and love. It's almost as if the desperation to bounce back from the Wii U was what sucked the Nintendo charm out of the Switch in the first place. What do you think of my ideas and what would you add to the Switch yourself? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel as it really helps us out. But in the meantime, this has been Joe from TechKnow, and I will see you in the next video.